Good afternoon, everyone. For the record, my name is Liz Braden, Boston City Councillor for District 9. I'm the chair of the Boston City Council Committee on Strong Women, Families and Communities. I will announce the arrival of my colleagues when they arrive. This public hearing is being recorded and live streamed at boston.gov/citycouncil-TV. It will be broadcast on Xfinity Channel 8, RCN Channel 82, Verizon Fios Channel 964. We will take public testimony at the end of this hearing. If you wish to testify via video conference, please email shane.pac, P-A-C, at boston.gov to sign up. When you're called, please state your name and affiliation and residence, and limit your comments to no more than 2 minutes to ensure that all comments can be heard. You can also submit written testimony by emailing ccc.swfc@boston.gov. Today's hearing number 0958, message and order authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend the amount of $100,000 in the form of a grant for the No Kid Hungry awarded by the Share Your Strength to be administered by the City's Office of Food Access. The grant will fund school-based food programs and the Community Hub Schools initiative. In addition, we have docket number 1014, messaging and order authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend the amount of $500,000 in the form of a grant for the FY21 Gus Schumacher Nutrition Incentive Program, awarded by the National Institute of Food and Agriculture, USDA, to be administered by the Office of Food Access. So with no more further ado, I would like to call on our panelists this afternoon is Catalina Lopez Ospina, Director of the Office of Food Access. Catalina, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Councillor and Councillor Flynn. Thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Catalina Lopez Ospina. I'm the Director of the Mayor Office of Food Access. The mission of the Mayor Office of Food Access is to improve equitable access to nutritious food with respect to affordability, physical accessibility, and cultural relevance. To achieve this mission, we have implemented different programs that increase affordability and accessibility to healthy food for families and children. One of the programs we currently operate is the Boston Double Lab Food Box Program. The Double Lab Food Box Program is a SNAP incentive program offered at the local corner store and bodegas. The goal of the program is to incentivize and increase access to fresh food and vegetables. The SNAP beneficiaries who shop at participant stores and use their EBT card, pay for fresh food and vegetables, can get 50% discount up to $10 per day per purchase. The pilot program that we start from 2018 to 2021 was funded by Fair Food Network and the Susan and Dale Foundation. Their support helped us to build and network the stores across the city to test this model. We launched the program in 3 stores in Dorchester, and Roseberry. To date, we have 12 stores participating in the program, and we have expanded to East Boston, Jamaica Plain, and Marapan. Since the program began, more than $550,000 have been redeemed. This year, we applied to the USDA Gus Schumacher Nutrition and Incentive Program, GASNIP, and we were awarded $500,000 for the next 3 years. OFA will be used the new GASNIP funds to continue to support the existing partners stores and expand the Double Lab program to 4 to 6 more stores across the city in low-income communities in Boston, including but not limited to Dorchester, East Boston, Hyde Park, Marapan, and Roseberry. Participating stores will receive technical assistance through this partnership, including one-to-one training, monthly visits, calls, program performance report, and program coaching, and everything related to the SNAP program. Another initiative that we have been working for the last 4 years is the BosFoodLove. This program was initially funded by the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and the original goal of this program was increase the consumption and participation of breakfast and lunch at the school settings. In the last couple of years, we have received financial support of Share Our Strength, No Kid Hungry to make this program possible. Their contribution has helped us to have one full-time employee to manage this program. For the school year 2021-2022, we have broadened the scope of the program because we recognize that when a student is hungry, the whole household is experiencing the same situation. The goal of the BosFoodLove program this year is to support BPS families in access to culturally appropriate food, connecting with other food resources and safety net programs. This year, Share Our Strength has granted us $100,000 to extend the position of the manager position and engage with community residents and youth on solutions that fit their needs, and pilot different initiatives and the community school hubs. We will be piloting these initiatives at the community school hubs in partnership with the YMCA. The YMCA has partnered with OFA through the Food Emergency Response and worked with OFA and Boston Public Schools in food distribution at super sites during the time the school were closed. We plan for the initiative, the access initiatives through the community hubs. We reach out to the principals to hear their needs and assess their capacities. We have received 6 responses of the 14 community school hubs that we send their survey, and all of them highlight the need for food assistance in their school. We will continue to work with them to develop initiatives that meet the needs of their families. We have also connected many of these schools with the SNAP outreach staff at the YMCA. This person will work with the schools to close the SNAP gap among the BPS families, providing TA and SNAP application. We will keep in connecting people with sustainable resources that provide food options to families during the difficult times. We will keep investing in programs that empower and support community and create solutions that meet the needs. Thank you for listening to me, and I'm happy to respond to some questions if you have it.
Very good. Thank you, Catalina. I'd like to recognize Councillor Flynn has joined us. Thank you, Councillor Flynn. I'm going to put everybody on a gallery scene here.
Thank you, Councillor Braden.
So this grant is the BosFoodLove and both of these grants, you're speaking to both of these grants this afternoon, Catalina?
Yes, Councillor.
Yeah, so, can you tell me a little more about the culturally appropriate food? Like, does that include like halal and kosher foods for families with particular religious observances, or is it just and maybe food, for folks, Latinx families have different food preferences. How does that work?
Yeah, so with the Share Our Strength grant, we will work with their principals, and we will tailor the program because it's going to look different in each school that met the community needs. So if in the community, in a school, is a need for halal meals, we will spend that money, or we will put resources toward that. So the goal is have engagement from the BPS staff and for the community and for youth to make that possible and to know that what we are doing is exactly what they are needing.
Very good. Councillor Flynn, did you have any questions? Sorry, I jumped right in there.
Thank you, Councillor Braden, and thank you, Catalina, for the important work that you're doing in the city. It's greatly appreciated, and your team is doing an outstanding job, especially during the pandemic when we saw so many families in need. We saw seniors, we saw persons with disability, we saw many immigrant families in need as well. That was practically my biggest job over the last year and a half was trying to get food to residents. And, your office really did a great job working with other city departments. So I just want to acknowledge the hard work of the food access program. I guess my question is, during the census counting, we all spent a lot of time counting, making sure everybody is counted in the census, because that actually has a big impact on the federal funds a state receives, which then goes to the city. But one of the biggest programs it assists is the Women and Infant Children program, federal program, food assistance. But have we seen, Catalina, any cuts at all to food programs from the federal government?
So, Councillor Flynn, during the surge and the middle of the last year surge and pandemic, when there was the high peak, we were receiving funding for the federal government and the state government through boxes of food that we were distributing among the city residents and our partners. The support from the state and the support from the federal government in this way has stopped since like the beginning of this year. So we directly are not receiving any. We have the American Rescue Plan money that is coming for the federal government, but we are not receiving any other like food tangible that are coming from the state or from the DC.
Okay.
And one more thing is like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Councillor. The state hasn't have any plan to help. Like they have a plan to support food pantries and infrastructure for farmers, but we haven't here a plan to continue the support to the emergency, because we still have an emergency. We still have calls from people like facing COVID-19. They need food today, and we don't have any support from the state, or there is no plan for them to do it. So we are working on that.
That information is very helpful. My final comment, and I just want to acknowledge the tremendous work of Councilor Braden on this issue. My final comment is, I think, Catalina, I think your department and your team has the most important job in city government. If we don't get families in need of food, or seniors or persons with disabilities or immigrant families, if we don't get them food, we're failing as a government. So I just want to let you know we appreciate everything you're doing, and when it comes down to next year, the budget time, I know myself and certainly Councilor Braden, we want to see an increase in the food access program, so even more and more families can benefit from the tremendous programs you offer. So having said that, I don't have any questions. Again, just want to say thank you, Catalina, to you and your team. And I want to say thank you to my colleague, Councilor Braden, as well.
Thank you, Councillor Flynn. So these two dockets, one's for 100,000 and the other's for 500,000. Is that funding just for this one is for financial year 21, that's this year. Is the other one expected to extend for further? Is that just for the expenditure this year?
The USDA grant that is for $500,000 is for 3 years. So it's for 2021 to 2025, 24. Yeah. So we have that. Yeah.
Very good. And then the other one, the 100,000 is just for 1 year.
Yes.
Very good. Okay. Nice to understand that. Well, thank you so much for your work, Catalina. Do you have any comments or questions for us, or anything you'd like to raise for us to be aware of?
I just want to say thank you for having me here, for make food access a priority in the agenda of both of you. We really need the support of everyone in City Hall to continue doing the work that we are doing. I appreciate that you support the budget. We didn't have an increase this year, but I will appreciate the same support next year through the fiscal year. And if you have any questions or any of your constituents has any problem finding food, please send it my way.
Well, thank you. I realize it's the hierarchy of needs, food and shelter. If you don't have food and shelter, then all the other stuff is it falls off. It's food and shelter are the really basic primary needs that people have to survive and thrive in our city. So thank you so much for your work, and I will be recommending that we pass these dockets and accept and expend this money at next week's City Council meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Brady, and thank you, Councillor Flynn.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will now adjourn this meeting, and thank you all. Thank you, Councillor Flynn.
Thank you, Councillor Braden. Good to see you.